Asymmetric key cryptography describes encrypted communication based on a unique public key and a corresponding private key. How come we have symmetric and asymmetric key cryptography? Well, there was one big problem with symmetric key cryptography. It is vulnerable to man-in-the-middle attacks, and thus asymmetric key cryptography was developed. What does that actually mean, man-in-the-middle attack? Well, before we had Alice and Bob communicating, right? Through this open public space. And they were using Diffie-Hellman to establish a shared secret key, which was used to encrypt and decrypt the message. Now here's the problem with this. You could have some evil hacker man sitting in the middle. These are horns. So it's a evil hacker man, not a cow. And this hacker man is trying to fool Alice and Bob to think that he is the actually corresponding communication partner. And if he actually succeeds, then Alice is okay here. Well, let's establish a shared secret key then. They will do that. And then here on the other side, the hackerman would go to Bob and say, hey, let's establish a secret key. I'm Alice. So he could be here sitting in the middle and interfere everything that was going on with Alice and Bob, and he could just mess with those two communication partners. That's the big problem with that. So here's the idea to solving this problem. As you can guess from the name asymmetric, we now have two sides involved. So for one, we have an open public key which allows everyone to encrypt a message, and we have a related private key which allows to decrypt the message which was encrypted with the corresponding public key. Let's see how this idea would play out with Alice and Bob. Okay, we have Alice on the left and Bob on the right. Alice and Bob both create unique private keys which they keep secret. And corresponding to their private keys, they generate open public keys. You can think of those as being open locks. And everyone can access those and use them. Now, if Alice wants to send Bob a secret message, she will take Bob's lock and encrypt her message with that lock. She will send it over, and Bob will use his private key to open that lock. Because this private and public key pair is unique, Alice can be sure that only Bob will be able to open her message. It would work the same way around if Bob wants to send Alice a message. Bob would take Alice's lock and lock the message with it, send it over to Alice, and then Alice uses her private key that matches her lock to unlock the message. Next, we're going to look at RSA, which implements this concept mathematically.